Okay, so let's have a look at this question. Question is about metals and metal compounds. So they're keywords, so I'm underlining them. Pyrites is an ionic compound. Okay, so if it's ionic, it means it's made of positive and negatively charged ions. The diagram below shows the structure for iron pyrites, okay? So that's my iron, so they're going to be my positive. That's sulfur, they're going to be negative. So determine the formula of iron pyrites. So if I'm doing a determine question, so I box the command word. So determine is data and conclusions. So what I need to do is I need to use the data and information they've given me to work out the formula. So they've given me this is what I need to use. So what I need to look at is the ratio of those different ions, sorry. So what I can see is for every one iron, there are 2 sulfurs. So it is FeS2. So 2 sulfurs for every 1 iron. Next question. An atom of iron is represented as Fe5626. So the massive number is the mass number, and that is my protons plus my neutrons. So number of protons, the number of protons and neutrons added together is the mass number, which is 56. The number of protons is this one here, which is the atomic number. So protons is 26. Electrons here, I know, is always going to be the same as the protons, so that is 26. The neutrons, I know that if I add my protons and neutrons together, it gives me 56. So I do 56 minus 26, which equals 30. So there are 30 neutrons. Iron is a transition metal. Okay, so it's a typical metal. It has typical metal properties. Right, we think of shiny, malleable, etc., etc. Okay, sodium is in group 1. So group 1 are reactive. And if you remember, they float on water. Because you do the experiment where you put them in the trough of water and they fizz around. So give 2 differences between the properties of iron and sodium. Because I'm doing differences, I need to make direct comparisons. I need to use things like whereas, and also I need to be using things like but. So the first one, iron's a transition metal. So I know, for instance, so iron has a high density, but sodium has a low density. So 1 mark, 1 comparison. The next one, sodium is very reactive, but iron has a low reactivity. Okay, so I've put 2 direct differences. I've got things here like but, so I'll put my keyword in there, but. So 2 direct comparisons to show the differences. Next question. Okay. Nickel is extracted from nickel oxide. Okay, so extracted means it is removed from, it is separated from. So by reduction with carbon. So reduction means oxygen removed. Explain why carbon can be used to extract nickel from nickel oxide. So the only reason that carbon can remove the oxygen from nickel oxide is if carbon is more reactive than nickel. Okay, so explain means I need to be putting in links and reasons, okay? So I don't need to rewrite any of the question. So I'm going to write, this is because carbon is more reactive than nickel and will therefore displace it. So if something is more reactive, it will displace something that is less reactive. So it will boot it out of the compound and it will replace it in there. So the fact I've used displace it there, it's a key word. I need to get it in. That's going to get me my second mark. So an equation for the reaction is, so this equation is talking about this reaction here. So nickel oxide plus carbon gives us nickel and carbon monoxide. Calculate the percentage atom economy for the reaction to produce nickel. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at how efficient this process is. So I need to give my answer to 3 significant figures. So first of all, I have the relative formula mass of what I am making, which is which is nickel. I'm not making carbon monoxide. I would want to do that. It's toxic. So I've got the mass of nickel, which is 59. And then I need to divide that by the mass of the reactants. So nickel oxide is 75. So I've got 75 plus carbon, which is 12. Okay, so let me do this. So 75 plus 12 equals 87. So I've got 59 divided by 87, which equals 0.678. Now I need to convert that into a percentage because that's what it's asked for. So I have 0.678 times by 100, which gives me 67.816%. If I go back up here, it's asking for 3 significant figures. So I've got 1, 2, 3. That's my third significant figure. Okay, 1 is less than 5, so I'll leave that alone. This stuff can go, so it gives me 67.8%.